Senior Report thanks Edmund Besh of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding is provided by a grant from Absolute Care of Westfield, committed to returning the favor to those who spent a lifetime caring for others. Absolute Care is located at 26 Cass Street in Westfield. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the Docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful day we have in Chautauqua County, and I mean it. Sun shining down. Oh, it's incredible. And you're noticing a little change in the color of the trees now to let us realize that fall is on the way. Autumn is coming, stumbling along. Another few days, it'll be the 21st, first day of fall. And you notice the color in the trees is along the roads. Well, why is that? Because of the noxious fumes put out by your cars. It makes them sick when they're by the side of the road. So they turn color faster and deteriorate and drop their leaves faster than the ones back away from the road. An interesting point. Hello out there, Sergio. Sergio is my cell phone repairman who I only talk to long distance from Mexico City. He lives down in Mexico, believe it or not. So hello, Sergio. He said, please say hello. There you go. I have Virgin Mobile, which only costs me $5 and change a month, which isn't bad. I only get 100 minutes or something, but I never use them anyway. And it goes on and on and on. As a matter of fact, you can accumulate. I'm up to $200 worth because I never use it. Hey, anybody want to buy a mobile phone that has $200 worth of time on it? Get in touch. Lots of things happening around here. Of course, on television, there's just murder, mayhem, and craziness and insanity going on all over the world now. Even in Australia today, the Muslim Brotherhood, or whatever these guys call themselves, Al-Qaeda or whatever, are just raising a storm of protest over that stupid, bad film made by some kookpot criminal who just got out of jail for fraud, bank fraud, and other things. I don't know. Why do we get the blame for everything some nutcake does? Maybe they just want to riot. They killed one of our ambassadors and a couple of SEALs that were protecting them, and another guy does their computers. And looks like, this is in the embassy. They breached the walls and went right in the embassy and started slaughtering people. This is totally unheard of. The embassy technically is just sacrosanct. The country does everything possible to protect it. And they didn't do it in Syria. And so down we go. down we go. And they're riding in Cairo, they're riding all over the world, and they're just attacking the embassies. Well, you know, we have a couple of nuts in this country, and if they make a stupid, cheap movie portraying the Muslims as bad guys, what are you going to do? We do have a certain amount of let's put it this way, you have a right to speak out in this country. Not a lot of countries you don't. And people ought to get used to that. Freedom of speech, it's called. It's part of our Constitution. Oh, well, there'll always be something out there. And just to change the subject, there's so much grief and anger and hatred and stuff going on in the world. We decided, instead of doing our usual sort of political program in terms of what's going on, we're going to just sit back and relax and have some nice song. Some Irish tunes by a very famous Irish duet who plays all over Chautauqua County and even steps out of the county occasionally. And their names, they go, incidentally, very simply by Bill and Doc. Doc is Doc Hamels, who sometimes makes some cogent comments here. We have Bill Drello, who is his partner, and they do some wonderful Irish tunes. And if you want a specific tune, call in, and they'll be happy to accommodate you, I'm sure. Especially Danny Boy. They tell me Danny Boy's too high for so early in the morning. Danny Boy, incidentally, was not written by, it was not old Irish air. It's done to Londonderry air, which is an old, actually English Irish tune. And it was written by a Brit, a lawyer named Weatherby. I don't know if I don't think he invented the gun, but Weatherby was a very well-known lawyer. He was practiced before the Supreme Court and everything in England, whatever it's called. And he wrote over 3,000 songs. He was a prolific songwriter. Among them was Danny Boy. And nobody ever heard of Danny Boy until the Americans picked up on it. The vaudeville actors did it, and it became very famous in this country. And there you go. And it ain't Irish. It ain't about Danny either, but it's a great song. All right. Enough said. I won't even get into the Romney saying it's all the rioting and craziness is all the fault of Ryan and Romney. I guess they speak together. All the fault of Obama, this craziness going on around the world with the Muslims. I think if we had an earthquake, they'd blame Obama for it. He says, you started it. All right. All right, guys. Enough said. I got some news, local news. We got some great stuff. I have an announcement from St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Westfield, New York. That's that beautiful old church right across the street from Eason Hall, the town and village hall in Westfield, which also in itself is a classic building. They're having a health and wellness in the 21st century, exploring these things, and they'll be giving a lot of stuff. They'll be a blessing. They have spiritual therapy for pets. That's what it says: music, sensory, art therapy, writing, nature, and anything else. Westfield Hospital, Blind Association, Absolute Care, Chautauqua County Office of Aging, and all sorts of representatives will be at this wonderful health fair. It's going to be held at 10 to, when it runs out, about 3 o'clock, 10 to 3, in Westfield, across from the Eason Hall. And the date, September 29th. September 29th. Get over there. It's a Saturday. You're not doing much. Drift over and pick through the stuff. They have a lot of things to give away, too. I love those little week-long pill containers that has a little flap, and you drop your pills in for Monday and Tuesday. That's the only way I can keep track of my pills. I can never remember if I took them or not. I only have one pill, Zestrol, blood pressure. If you have blood pressure, get something for it, because blood pressure will ultimately cause you to have blood squirting out your ears, and it's very unattractive and it's messy as hell, you know. So if you have something, it's just an aspirin. Some people take a baby aspirin. That in itself usually works, but always check with your doctor first, or you could drop dead. They always tell you that. I have to stick that in too. Everybody's welcome. Saturday, September 29th, Exploring Health and Wellness in the 21st Century, St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Westfield on Elm Street. You know, it's right across from the Easton Hall. Everybody scamper over there and have some fun. Chuck Wheeler, he's a preacher over there. I wanted to say hello to Chuck, too. The Reverend Charles Wheeler. All right, enough said. We have the best senior groups in the country. Dunkirk Senior Board of Directors is operated by the president, Barbara Badjas, and she wants us to know a couple of things. The first 100 members who renewed their membership were given a free admission to their dinner. Gala is sold out October 14th. And then it'll include hors d'oeuvres and punch and hot dogs, pasta, salad, desserts, and beverage, and sirloin steak. No, that's not in there. Tube steak is. Nancy Crandall spoke about the next big bingo game, September 26th. They have big games over there. Everybody's welcome to come and play, too. 1 p.m. any Monday, they're going to play pinochle. Get over there. Exercise classes. Hey, the Dunkirk Senior Center has a lot of great things going for it. Tai Chi, exercise, yoga. Oh my gosh, it goes on. Zumba Gold class. What's that? It's a wild, if you haven't seen it, a real wild sort of exercise. They're going to have the independent health representatives at the center every Friday in October. And in November too, from 11 until 1. Blue Cross Blue Shield will be there and a whole bunch of other people. I won't even name them all. Again, that's the Dunkirk Senior Board of Directors and Senior Center. Parking lot's going to be paved over there, and carpets and blinds cleaned, and everything's going to be done and neat and clean and wonderful. Tuesday, September 18th, 56 people are all lined up to travel to Ohio for the, well, I think they already did that. What is today? Yeah, that's coming up, I guess. Let's get the date here. This is ridiculous. Yeah, okay. I sometimes get lost in thought, if you know what I mean. Lost in no thought. Yeah, that's the 15th today. And so it's coming right up. Don't miss it. They will travel to Ohio for an Amish brown bag bus tour. They'll probably have dinner over there, too. There are a few openings for a bus trip from Dunkirk seniors to Fallsville Casino, October 16th. All the groups go to the casinos. And do not gamble. They'll give you free chips. Take them and put them down. If you win, walk away. If you lose, walk away. Otherwise, you'll go home bare-chested. You'll lose your shirt. And it looks really strange on the bus. All right, Great Belt Seniors, they went to the Amish community, too, and they had a great time. Well, they loved it. Lancaster, PA. Big Amish center over there. And they have dinners, and they have horse and buggies and everything, and exhibitions. And the Amish are a little shy about having their pictures taken, though. You want to be careful about that. You're going to have a board meeting on September 19th over there at the Great Belt Seniors. If you have any questions or thoughts, ask them about it, or you can just call it in. You don't even have to do anything. They're having an annual potluck luncheon, September 26th. Oh, boy. Lots of things going on. Too much stuff going on. I got to remember to take my shirt home. I got a note here, take your shirt home. This one right here, it's got to be washed. And I like to, I like to remind myself, because I forget. Do you ever forget anything? At the age of 73, you will. Over at Mayville, nice people over there. Joyce Ayers is the president, and they have a lot of folks showing up. Life members to say happy birthday to: Janice Barr, Pauline Cole, and a couple others out there. We got Diane Goodrich and Bob. I better put the cheaters on here. Huh? Bud Hartman, Beverly, Elaine Winston, Beverly White, a whole bunch of people. September 22nd, Big Chicken Barbecue. Don't miss that. Sign up. The chicken will be presented by the Men's Auxiliary of the VFW, which has a small chicken house out back. I'm not sure of that. Members pay half price, guests full price, and the price is very reasonable. Call for reservation 761-6004. All right. They had a good guest there. They had Jim Subject. He used to be the DA. He was DA here for many, many long years. And Jim was just elected again, year after year, a super attorney, which is a high honor. Only, I think, 60 people in the country get it or something. He's been elected this before. He does a fantastic job. Right out of Fredonia, New York. His wife's on the board over there. Yeah, can you beat that? He talks about DNA and forensics. He's going to be here next in a month or so, talking about elder care and some of the legal issues. You should know about that. All right, enough said. I don't know, we got more stuff here. They're telling me I'm running out of time. I'm using too much time. Okay, quick note on Sharon Care. That's a Fredonia crowd. They excused Charles Mancuso. You need an excuse not to go. They're having harvest dinner at the Beaver Club. Yeah. And they're taking bus trips again to the Salamanca Casino, September 18th, October 16th, and November 13th. Don't forget those. They're always fun, though. It's fun to go to the casino. I like to go to the Niagara Falls Casino because you can see the falls from it. It's gorgeous. It's incredibly beautiful from there. They have a huge back veranda there. They're giving some books to the Barker Library, and this is the Sharon Care crowd in Fredonia. Spring Fling, April 27th, picnic August 24th, harvest dinner October 26th next year. So keep those on your calendar. United Senior Center, South St. George does it. New members, Virginia Kelly, Leonard Schreiber, over there. St. George, Charles and Norma are having 62nd year wedding anniversary. Wow, 62 years today? That's 62 days is a long wedding marriage these days. Okay, dues, $3 a year, can't beat it. Enough said. They're telling me I am finished with the news. Whether or not I have more news, well, I do have more news, but it's over. My time is up. I'm finished. It's complete. They say, Powers, out of here. You're done. All right, I've got a public service announcement for you, and then we'll get on with the shoe.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
Well, you notice we have a chair here. This is for Patty McGuire. He's going to be telling us, commenting on the music that we're going to get from Bill and Doc. Hello, Patty. We'll be discussing the things with Patty in a minute. Is that okay with you, Patty? Okay, great. He says you could get on with the show. Let's go here. All right. On with the show. Good morning. Introduce yourselves. This is Doc Hamels, and this is Bill Drillo. And these guys do Irish tunes, and boy, do they ever. They're known all over the county. And if you have a senior center that wants some Irish music, give them a call. You have a number?
Sure.
Give them a number.
Go ahead, Bill. 716-969-2563.
Okay, you notice he sings it.
But of course. And he did it in single harmony.
Yeah, there you go. You're on. Tell us what you're going to play here, John.
Okay, Bill, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Senior Report. My role today is a little different. I'm still not quite sure, Reed, how you talked me into doing this. Musicians don't normally sing like before 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Don't normally get up before 1 o'clock.
Not either. But we're going to do like 2 songs, and then we thought we would have a little chat with you, Reed, about different things. This first song is something that, and Bill and I will jump back and forth, and Reed, feel free to join us as we go along. But it's a classic Irish tune, and it talks about something that the Irish brought to America. Do you know what it could be, Reed?
Syphilis?
No, I wasn't thinking of that.
I don't know. Well, they brought one of the things they brought here
career here
was a harp. They had a harp.
You're closer.
Yeah.
It was moonshine, Reed.
Oh, okay. They didn't call it moonshine, did they?
They called it moonshine.
Ishkabaha is what it was.
that's
they
real
called it
whiskey.
the water of God. Ishkabaha.
All right, we're going to do a song called The Moonshiner. And we did a sound check earlier, so hopefully we're not going to blast your ears off here. And just for people's information, Bill's playing a 6-string guitar, and I'm playing something called an Irish bouzouki. It's like a long neck mandolin. And throughout this our program today, Bill and I are going to, I think we're playing 6 different instruments. And when we go on stage, we do as many as 9 instruments. I think we figured it out one time. But anyways, this is called The Moonshiner, classic Irish tune.
I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, well, leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And the moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I've been a moonshiner for many a year. Spent all me money on whiskey and beer. I go to some hollow and set up me steel. I'll make you a gallon for a $2 bill. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, well, leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And the moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I'll go to some holler in this country. 10 gallons of wash, I can go on a spree.
Oh, yeah.
No woman to follow, the world is all mine. I love none so well as I love the moonshine. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, well, leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. The moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Moonshine, dear moonshine, oh how I love thee. Kill me, old father, you dare you kill me. Oh bless the moonshiners and bless the moonshine. Oh his breath smells as sweet as a dew on the vine. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, well, leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And the moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I have moonshine for Lucy, I have moonshine for May. I give moonshine to Susie and she stays every day.
Well,
I have moonshine for breakfast, I have moonshine for tea. It's moonshine, oh how I love thee. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, well, leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. The moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home. And if you don't like me, well, leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. And the moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die.
see, in the morning I can sing those low notes.
I wanted to throw in a bit of true Irish history. Unfortunately, a lot of people, our Irish gentlemen, were killed by the wars that went on with Britain, among other things, and intermingling wars in Ireland. And the widows had a special dispensation. They were allowed to make moonshine without being prosecuted. They just left them alone. And as long as you were a widow of one of the Irish soldiers, you could make the moonshine. And they called it Ishkabaha, the water of God.
Ishkaba?
Ishkabaha.
I think there's a group called that. Isn't there? There's a group, I think, from, I don't know, Pennsylvania. I think
They're probably Irish, doing Irish tunes.
You know, it wasn't until I watched Larry the Cable Guy that I even realized the connection of drag racing and moonshine. You know that.
Right, the cars. The cars were souped up because the cops are always chasing them around. It's like out on Lake Erie, you know. They had some very powerful, hello Pike Monroe, very powerful fishing boats doing prohibition. There you go, that nice tune. What's up now?
All right, we're going to do a little instrumental. And in Irish music, it's like any other nationality. There's certain jigs or reels and folk songs that people like to dance to. And of course, if you know Irish music, people like to really dance. And it's a national sport, I guess you'd call it. I mean, there's competitive dancing there. And we'd like to play a few instrumentals throughout the evening. When we play in the evening. We're going to try this in the morning. And this is called the Swallowtail, and it's kind of a nifty little tune. And it just kind of reminds me of a butterfly, you know, the swallowtail. It's just sort of a light song. So we're going to play that for you now.
Patty wants to tell you, Patty McGuire here, wants to tell you that he loved that little Irish lilt that ran through
thank
it.
you, Patty.
And
Thank you very
that?
much.
What was that? I mean, he wants to know what that instrument was.
All right.
What is that thing? It was a beautiful
All right.
lilt.
This is, I'll put you over here on the camera, Patty, right over here.
There you
This
go.
is actually what they call a mandolin. And this is a little different than what you'll see most of the time on TV. They'll have F-holes here, and that's more for bluegrass and that sort of thing. Where this is an oval opened mandolin, it's more for Celtic and Irish music.
There you go. We have a couple of phone calls. You want to take a phone call? Or? Okay, we'll take a quick break and love to hear a phone call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. What
Thank
a
you.
wonderful way to start the morning off with some wonderful Irish music.
Well, thank you.
They pointed out
to you.
they pointed out that it's very unusual for to have Irish music this early. The Irish musicians don't even get up before noon usually.
That's true. That's true. I do have a couple of questions for your guest.
There you go.
And I wondered if they're available to play, you know, if somebody would be, say, having an occasion where they wanted to have music, and would they be available to play?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And, well, I guess if they're interested, I'm assuming you have a phone call or something.
Yeah, give them the number again, will you, John?
716
Bill.
969-2563.
Here's Bill Drillo. He's part of the team here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, and people in our area here in Ripley, Westfield, Bayville, I'm in the phone book. You know, you can give me a call over there.
John Hamels.
Right.
Doc.
Yeah. Yes. My other question was, how long have you been together as a group, and are you by ethnicity Irish, or did this just come about because you enjoy the music?
Well, we actually met in the parking lot this morning.
Right. We just
He said,
emailed
"Is
each
that a
other.
banjo? I said,
And
you are tooting, it's a banjo.
And they,
Now I know this is a true Irish.
they well, they tell me they're from the Irish section of Warsaw.
Okay, let's answer one question at a time. Bill and I actually met. It was in Mayville, I believe, at an open mic up at Webb's, and we kind of
years ago.
3 years ago, just about 3 years ago, and we've been collaborating our forces since then. I came from a, believe it or not, rock and roll and country rock background, and
I thought there was a country rock, or country anyways, background to
Right.
some of the things you've said, and I thought, I bet he was in country at one time.
Yep.
And I'm an old folkie. I grew up in New York, where I had the great opportunity to go down to Washington Square Park on a Sunday morning and listen to the great folk singers, and had a real good teacher when I was a teenager. So I've always been kind of devoted to acoustic folk music, and so we've got a little meld going here of the two genres, and it's been working out
Well,
fine.
they're very close to each other, I find.
oh
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
But we find a lot of, even if you listen to a lot of your folk music, there's strains of Irish music in there. And even if you listen to some rockabilly, bluegrass, you'll hear some of the strains of the various banjos and the mandolins in there.
They're
That's-
very similar.
Right. And to answer your other question, I'm part Irish. My family hails from the Kilkenny area, which is just south of Dublin and above Waterford. And if I could take a minute, I want to tell you a quick little story. We were, Bill and I and our wives were at Irish, what do you call that?
Winding.
Winding up, a festival.
That's the technical
I'm thinking
term.
about too early in the morning, weren't you? Up in Hamburg a couple of years ago, and Robbie O'Connell, who's the nephew of the Clancy brothers, was performing. We went up and we had a chat with him. Yeah.
Oh,
It was spectacular. And I said to him, well, my family's from Ireland and from the Pilton area. He says, that's Piltown. And I said, well, are you from that area? He said, we're from Carrick-on-the-Shore. Well, Carrick-on-the-Shore is like, from here to like Mayville away. Or no, we're in Mayville. From here to Westfield. And too early. And long story short, I said, well, my grandfather, he worked as the keeper of the horses for Lord Bessborough Manor in Pilton. And he said, well, his grandfather was the keeper of the hounds at Lord Bessborough's Manor in Pilton. So evidently, my clan and Clancy's must have touched each other.
small world. Could I tell a real short story about the Clancy brothers?
It's Reed's show.
Sure, go ahead. Make it real short, though.
It's short. For my 48th birthday, my oldest daughter took my husband and
Time is up.
to Chautauqua, and the Clancy brothers were there, and we had been fans of the Clancy. I have all kinds of recordings by the Clancy brothers, and so I took my Albans over, and after the concert, which was fabulous, they have a little porch in the back of the place where they have their open theater. And so the Clancy brothers went out on the porch if anybody wanted to go back, and a few people were there. So they opened the porch. There was a gate there, opened it, and asked people to come up and join them. Gave us all hugs, signed my albums, and it was the best birthday I've ever had, I think.
Oh, they were great guys.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
We patterned a lot of our act on Liam Clancy and Tommy Makem when they were a duo. So if you come out and catch our act, you're going to see a lot of that sort of thing.
And where were you playing?
Well, Bill, why don't you tell them where we're coming up?
Well, next Friday we're going to be playing at a new place in Frewsburg called the Corner Coffee House. We'll be there from 7 to 9 on Friday. And if you like folk music in general...
This is a great one.
And you may already be aware of this, but Carmen and Dick Gilman, who are just great folks and very devoted to the preservation of American folk music, have an event at the Fredonia Opera House every year that they call the Folk Music Free-for-All. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be 20 people playing. And Doc and I were really honored earlier this month when Carmen and Dick got a hold of us and asked if we would come up and play a couple of tunes.
Well,
Peter
Peter and Paul couldn't make it, so we were filling.
That's in Frewsburg?
No.
That's at the Fredonia Opera House in
And when
Fredonia.
is that?
Where is it?
When is that?
That's Sunday the 23rd.
Okay, that
Yep, starts at 3 o'clock in the
Free of
afternoon.
charge, right?
Yes,
All
and
right.
it's free, and you can win stuff too.
now you're talking to that's Irish talk to me. It's free and you can win stuff.
Aye, lass, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for the call. So if you send me a stamped envelope, self-addressed, I'll send you $5 off at the Lakeview restaurant at the foot of the hill here. And Valentino's, you can go there and eat all the crabs you can eat for peanuts.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, caller, I hope you like this next group because they're just about as famous as the Clancy Boys, and it's called the Irish Rovers. You like them?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, this is a song that we picked out. I actually heard it on the way to a St. Patrick's Day gig that we were playing this year, and I said to Bill, I got a new song for us, and I think you're going to like this. And this is a song, Reed, about a young man going down through the county roads, and he falls in love with this woman that he sees for the first time. And this is a little bit of a story. And Irish music tells stories. That's what I like about the Irish music. It's not just crazy lyrics that don't mean anything, but they really do have some meaning behind them. This is called The Star of the County Down. It goes a little bit like this. Near the Bainbridge town in the county down one morning last July. Down a boring green come a sweet Colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet from her two bare feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a winsome elf, I'm ashamed of myself, for you see I was tearing. There we go! From Bantry Bay up to Derry's Cave, from Galway to Dublin down. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met in the county down. Bum bum. As she onward sped, I scratched me head and I looked with a feeling rare. And I says I to a passer-by, who's that maid with the nut brown hair? And he looked at me and he said to me, that's the gem of Ireland's crown. Young Rosie McCann from the bank of the band, she's the star of the county down. Here we go! From Bantry Bay up to Derry's Cay, from Galway to Dublin down. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met in the county down. She soft brown eyes with a look so shy, and she smiled like the rose in June. And she sang so sweet, what a lovely treat, and she lilted an Irish tune. And the land was in dance, and she was in a trance, as she twirled with the lads of the town. And it broke my heart just to be apart from the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry's Cay, from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met in the county down. At the harvest fair she'll surely be there, and I dressed in me Sunday clothes, with my shoes shine bright and my hat cocked to right, star of the county down. No pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, till me plough is a rust-coloured brown. And the smiling bride, my own fireside, sits the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry's Cay, from Galway to Dublin down. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met in the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Derry's Cay, from Galway to Dublin down. No maid I've seen like the fair Colleen that I met in the county down. There you go.
How about that? he says he's got to tell you something.
What's that?
You know, Reed, you're starting to worry me a little bit.
Patty's right here. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. In the meantime, he just told me that, in the old days, the Irish had three possible careers. One is that they they farmed the land. They got the farm. The first son usually got the farm. So the other kid, he was out of luck. Then the second possibility was they became a priest. That was what was your next offering.
Nathan McGarden.
And not too many went for that. So the third one was to emigrate, which is why the Irish emigrated and came over to this country and brought a wealth of wonderful history and music and lore over to our country, and have been here ever since. And every president in the United States has had some Irish blood in him. Did you know that?
I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah, very true. So I think it is.
You heard it here. It's got to be true.
Well,
It's like the internet.
You know the Kennedys did anyway.
Well, you know, Reed.
Bill and Doc, go on.
All right. Well, you know, it's very interesting that you said what you said, because it's a beautiful lead into the next song. I was just up in Buffalo yesterday with my father, and we were having a little walk down the Erie Basin, and I did not realize, and folks, I encourage you to do this if you have an opportunity.
Now,
Go
where's
up
this
there,
again?
The Erie Basin.
Okay.
Along the waterfront there in Buffalo. They just made it beautiful. But the Irish ran that show for about 100 years with the grain mills and the ships and all the cargo coming and going. And they got wonderful placards explaining, who the Irish were and what they did. And, it's kind of funny that we're playing here today, because it's just about the halfway mark to St. Patrick's Day today.
Okay. Well, I thought today was St. Patrick's Day.
It could be. For us, it's every day is a St. Patrick's Day.
That's why we had
Did
this
the guy
show
in the
here
chair
today.
tell you that, or?
No, Patty, what? He says that's why we scheduled the show today. Oh, gee.
This is a halfway.
Well, what day is it, Patty? March the 17th.
March 17th?
I think I'm starting to see, Patty. I think we probably ought to.
Okay, thanks, Patty.
Well, anyways,
going and,
this next song is all about the third thing that we talked about is immigration, and it's about a young man going to sea and make his fortune, and he leaves his girlfriend behind. This is sort of a traditional song called "The Leaving of Liverpool," and Liverpool was the main port that the Irish, the Scottish, the British traveled out of to America and to other parts of the world. Leaving of Liverpool. Fare thee well to you, my own true love. I am going far away. I am bound for California, for I know I'll return someday. Here we go. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but me darling, when I think of thee. I am bound on a Yankee clipper ship. Davy Crockett is her name, and her captain's name is Randy Burt, and they say she's a floating chain. Didn't know that, did ya? So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but me darling, when I think of thee. I've sailed with Randy once before, and I think I know him well. If a man's a sailor, he will get along. If he's not, he's sure in hell. Here we go, Bill. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but me darling, when I think of thee. Take it away, Bill. Here we go. Oh, yeah. I liked your close-up. That was really good, Bill. Thank you.
I was thinking
The
of
ship
Stevie Nicks.
is in the harbor, love, and you know I can't remain. I know it's gonna be a long, long time before I see you again. Here we go.
So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be.
It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. One more time.
So fare thee well, my own true love.
When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Woo!
Well, beautiful. Patty, any comment on that? He says, he says to tell about my great-grandfather. There's a lot of lore about the Irish. Well, the Irish, for one thing, they came over and were very, very productive. And they formed some of the greatest plantations the country's ever had in the South. And my great-grandfather, used to love to go to funerals. So he'd look in the paper for a funeral of somebody.
You love to go to funerals?
He did. He loved the dinner afterwards.
Oh.
And he would go. And so he goes off to a Powers funeral. And he comes back, and his son asked him, well, how was it? He said, they weren't Irish. They were all black. He said, really? Well, this harks back to the plantations. Back in the old days, the people on the plantation would often take the name of the plantation owner.
Sure.
Especially when they were released. Especially Thomas Jefferson, I might add.
Right.
Which is why there's so many Irish, black people with Irish names. Well, Thomas Jefferson had a special cemetery for his relatives on the mansion, by the mansion on his estate, and they wouldn't let blacks get buried there, remembering that after his wife died, his wife in pro se was a black woman,
Right.
and he had a lot of children by her, and all these children had children, and they went to the Jefferson cemetery crowd and said, look, we are relatives of Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
And they wouldn't let them be buried there. They sued, and the judge said, yes, you are.
Oh, good for them. Good for them.
So there are black people, wonderful Irish black people buried in the cemetery at Thomas Jefferson's estate, and you're on.
All right. This next tune, and Reed, you talked a little bit about the history of Ireland earlier, about fighting with the British.
Yeah.
This goes back to the 1798 rebellion, where a young man named Roddy McCorley was leading the folks in rebellion. I'll get it out. Give me a minute.
That's okay,
Anyways,
Patty. Patty says it's okay.
It's all right. It's too early. Anyways, well, in 1800, they finally captured Roddy, and they took him to court in trial, and it was just a mock. Well, this is a famous fella, and Bill's going to tell you a little bit about this because it transfers here to America.
You didn't tell us they hung him.
I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was typical. It's typical of any war or insurrection, particularly to make heroes of folks. Roddy had kind of a checkered past. One of the interesting things about this song is that there's no clear-cut evidence as to whether or not Roddy McCorley was a scoundrel, a kind of a highwayman, or a true patriot. But as is often the case, he was deified, and this wonderful song was written about him. And there's a little bit of American history associated with this too, because the melody of the song comes from a tune called Gary Owen. And Gary Owen was the marching song of the 7th Cavalry, of George Custer's 7th Cavalry. In fact, if you watch some of those movies like They Died with Their Boots On and stuff, you can hear them singing Gary Owen. It's the same tune as Roddy McCorley, or young Roddy McCorley.
And the last thing I want to note about this is that a lot of the Irish groups, folk groups, like the Clancys and so forth, got together very often with a lot of the American folk singers, Dylan and the Kingston Trio and so forth. And the Kingston Trio recorded this as well. And this is just a typical rebel Irish tune for you, Reed.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, now this is the one and only time in my career that I've ever played drum. Okay, so I'm going to do it for you now. the fleet-foot host of men who come with faces wan from farmstead and from Fisher's Cot along the banks of Bann. They come with vengeance in their eyes. Too late are they. As young Roddy Macaulay goes to die on the bridge of doom today. Up the narrow street he stepped, smiling, proud and young, about the hemp rope on his neck, the golden ringlets sung. There was never a tear in his blue eyes, both glad and bright were they, as young Roddy Macaulay goes to die on the bridge of doom today. When he last stepped up the street, shining pike in hand, around him marched in grim array a stalwart earnest band. War and Trentown, he led them to the grave. As young Roddy Macaulay goes to die on the bridge of doom today. Here goes! There is nary a one of all your dead, all bravely fell in grave. And he who marches to his death on the bridge of doom today. True to the last, he led the upward way. As young Roddy Macaulay goes to die on the bridge of doom today. As young Roddy Macaulay goes to die on the bridge of doom today.
Beautiful. Patty says that's better
Better.
than the Kingston Trio. But you don't play Tom Dooley either.
We do, but
hang
not
down your
today.
head.
You gotta come see the full show.
Before we run out of time, I just want to express a thought. We did have a caller, didn't go on the air.
Oh dear.
Said it was probably the best Irish music they ever heard. I think it is.
Well, thank you.
You guys are superb.
Thank you.
And I do thank you for coming in and sharing your expertise with us, and not only instrumentally, but vocally, of course. And again, I wanted to reiterate, if you want to have Doc and Bill on your program, you can call the following number, and give it to them, please, Bill.
Area code 716-969-2563.
And they will come over, and in many cases, you don't even charge, correct?
It depends on the situation.
For
Yeah,
nonprofits.
some cases, yeah.
For 501c3s we do. For other people, we come and wash your car.
Well,
It
I'll tell
depends.
you.
We're very flexible.
Reed, we want to do one final song.
Well, that's why I wanted to get in
Right.
a big thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And a big congratulations. You guys are terrific. I've never heard your show.
Right.
And I must say, I have been very impressed because I'm
thank
an
you.
old Irishman and an old Mick from way back.
A lot of people
And
are surprised.
I have been following Irish music ever since I was a kid.
a lot of young folks are coming out from the colleges, and they're really having a lot of fun with this. Now, you said Danny Boy was the most famous Irish tune. Well, I'll tell you what, when we're out and about, this is the #1 requested song that we do for you. And this is by the Irish Rovers. And I'm going to let Bill get all set up here. But this is about a mystical animal, and in Ireland, as you know, there's leprechauns and banshees, but there's also unicorns. This is by Irish Rovers. They're from Ireland who went to Canada and made this song famous, but it was written by a fellow named Shel Silverstein, an American. All right, here we go. It goes something like this. A long time ago, when the earth was green, there's more kind of animals than you ever seen. They ran about free while the earth was being born. The loveliest of all was the unicorn. Join us!
There was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpy-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn.
Now God seen some sinning, it gave him pain. He said, stand back, I'm gonna make it rain. He said, hey brother Noah, I'll tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo.
And take some of those green
alligators and long-necked geese, some humpy-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorn. Oh, Noah was there to answer the call. He finished up making the ark just as the rain started falling. He marched in the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through.
Hey, Lord.
I got you green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpy-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't see no unicorn. And Noah looked out through the jiving rain. Unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, kicking and a splashing while the rain was pouring. Oh, them silly unicorn.
There was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpy-backed camels and some chimpanzees.
Noah cried, close the door, 'cause the rain is falling. We just can't wait for no unicorn. This is the sad part, Reed. The ark started moving. It drifted with the tide. Them unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried. The waters came down and sort of floated them away. And Reed, that's why you never seen a unicorn to this very day. Last time through, you'll see some green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpy-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn. How's that for timing?
Okay, that's perfect timing because we're out of here. They're throwing us off the air. Thank you.
You're
Doc
most welcome.
And Bill,
Thanks
it's
for
been
having
a
us.
fantastic performance. Patty says you're the best.
The best, the best.
Will you come back sometime soon?
Oh, sure,
maybe,
sure.
Maybe on the real St. Patrick's Day.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay, terrific. We have a special thanks to, callers. We didn't take calls because of the music. Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Brandy Burt, Chris Remaker, Jeff Zook, Don Zenz, John Hamels, and Bill Drillo. Thank you for a wonderful program. It's the best program we've ever had, I think. And that cannot beat it. Fantastic stuff. Okay, long-necked geese. Good enough. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you, friends. I'm Reed Powers.